All right, welcome back to Cactus Wrestling. If you haven't heard the news, we're doing rankings, and we're up to 133 pounds. If you haven't checked out 125, click this video right here. Check it out. We're going to do all the weight classes, but before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the calendar year. So if you can do that, if you haven't done so already, that would be great. So we're talking about 133 pounds. And without further ado, I'll share my screen and we'll dive right into it. And there you go. There are the rankings. So like I mentioned in the 125-pound video, I kind of compiled this list based on past performances. And we have the three major ranking sites, Flow, Intermat, and WrestleStat rankings side by side, so you can kind of compare. No surprises here for number one, Vito. He just won a world title. He won the NCAA's in dominant fashion last year, but he might actually not win the title next year. I wonder why that might be.
Well, it's my popular, maybe not so popular belief that Vito is going to take an Olympic red shirt. Hopefully, a lot of you guys saw him win the 61 kilo world title this past, few weeks. Wow, time flies. But he is trying to make the Olympic team at 57 kilo. And as some of you guys have seen before, Vito is not great at 125. He struggles to be there. He's sucked down. It's a tough spot for him to be at. It's my belief he's going to take the time to acclimate to cutting down the weight, shrinking his body without having to feel the need to compete. And that way, when he gets to the Olympic trials, which he doesn't have an automatic bid to the finals, he's in the semis, which is a huge help for the challenge tournament. But I would not be surprised to see Vito take an Olympic red shirt, especially with all the success he's had. Won a national title, won a world title. What's next? The Olympic. I don't believe we'll see him wrestle this year just because going from 133 then immediately cutting down to 125 is going to be tough in a challenge tournament that's going to feature Dayton Fix, Thomas Gilman, Spencer Lee, Nick Suriano, all these top guys that we've seen for years and years and years are all going to be fighting for this 57 kilo spot. So my prediction is he doesn't even wrestle collegiate this year, and he uses his red shirt.
You don't think him winning the NCAAs wasn't the magic that helped him win the world title this year?
I think the weight is what helped him. I think his confidence is what helped him. His speed. He is like Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he had that on display at NCAAs and at the Worlds as well. I mean, in our world prediction, we said it that the world's not ready for Vito, and he proved us correct in that regard. If he is back, I think it's his weight to lose. I don't think. Sure. I don't think. I mean, he majored Dayton the last time they wrestled. Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna come close to beating Vito if he's there.
So it's interesting because there's kind of like a standoff going. We were joking about this between Dayton and Vito. Like neither of them have declared as of this filming of an Olympic red shirt, but I think we were saying one of them might be just waiting to see if the other one does, and then that'll influence the other one's decision potentially.
Yeah,
at least Dayton Fix, because he's never won the title. Second, fourth. You'd think that he'd want to get that under his belt. Vito might be like, I'm on to better things.
Yeah, I feel like Dayton is waiting to see if Vito will. And then if Vito does, then he'll be like, all right, well, I guess it's my time to shine.
I don't know. NCAA's come and go, but Dayton Fix is eternal. This man, I hope he takes a red shirt and says, hey, one more year of college? You betcha.
He could be a 26-year-old man wrestling 18-year-olds.
I think he's 26 now. I think he's going to be 27.
That's just unacceptable.
Dayton Fix, if you're watching this, never graduate.
Yes, never graduate.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean those are the front runners, but both of them, or neither of them, or one of them might be taking an Olympic red shirt. For now, though, we have them as 1 and 2. Pretty clear top two. But Aaron Nagao, he transferred from Minnesota to Penn State, and we all know what happens when you go to Penn State,
like two
unless
people.
you're Hildebrand. He could potentially slide in there. He took fifth last year in his freshman year, and um, he seems to be a consistent number 3 in the rankings.
He's the next highest returning guy.
Yep. So then this is where things get interesting. I put Nick Bouzakis as number 4, maybe a little bit high. All the other sites have him as 8 and 9.
There's a guy that the only his one loss is to a guy not even listed.
Yeah, but that was at 141.
Oh, okay, that's true.
Nick Bouzakis wrestled Tom Crook last year at 141 in the duel against Virginia Tech, and he got majored. But I mean, how do you compare that? Like, that's a completely different weight class.
That's true. That's kind of yeah. That's kind of two different things, two different weights. It's like Bo Bartlett at 49 versus Bo Bartlett at 41.
Exactly.
So
I'm very high on Nick Bouzakis. I think he has the potential to make an immediate impact. It's also hard to rank freshmen. You never really know where they're going to be.
It's the preseason.
Yeah, they haven't. I mean, they couldn't have really proven anything because they haven't wrestled at the collegiate level yet. But based on all the hype and his high school athletes, I think he could be as high as number 4.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Bouzakis had a really solid Worlds as well. I believe he took bronze. I'd have to look it up. My memory's been a little hazy these days. But this is a guy that's a goer from day one, big wrestling family. I think that he's learned probably a ton from his redshirt freshman season. If Vito and Dayton both redshirt, like I hope and kind of expect them to, I think Aaron Nagao and Nick Bouzakis is going to be fire in the NCAA finals.
Well,
yeah, I see Bouzakis in the finals if Vito and Fix are both not there.
What about Sam Ice in his veins Latona?
He is icy.
No, Latona is not making the finals. He'll probably All-American again, but like he seems to not be very spotty when it comes to the NCAAs and the ACC.
What do you expect? He had Vito in like the quarters last year, who was like on another level, on another realm.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, that is a good point.
And Sam Latona beat Vito last year.
Yeah, he's the only guy that beat Vito. Yeah, that's true. Vito must have had a bad cut week.
Yeah.
There's no other reason.
Such shade. The only reason. No, Latona can't beat him. The only reason.
Well, then again, I guess Latona was actually Vito's closest match in the NCAA tournament.
That's crazy.
12-6, 12-4, 8-5, 11-3, and 10-4. Yeah. Latona gave him a tougher match than RBY and Dayton Fix.
That's insane.
Yeah. So that's pretty wild.
Well, I agree with you. I don't think Latona is going to be in the finals, but we have a New England native, Connor McGonigal. He got injured right before nationals last year. He's New England, right?
Yeah,
yes, he
Timberlane.
Him and Kyle Fields had that little spat.
Oh yeah, that's right. So he was like the 5 seed going into the tournament,
yeah,
and then
Mike was predicting him to go really far into the bracket.
I think that he's a talented wrestler.
Had he not been hurt, but yeah.
Yeah, I still think he's going to be an All-American. Especially like 133 hasn't really emptied out, but not like 125 has, but it is. Especially if red shirts will make or break this entire field. I really feel. More so than anything else, because if those two top guys really do commit to this 57 kilo path, you're going to see everyone and their mom be like, okay, I'm winning a national title this year, because it's really, Nagao is a great wrestler, but so is Bouzakis, Latona, McGonigal, Kyorine. I mean, like, it's not a crapshoot necessarily, but it's going to be close.
definitely. So I put McGonigal over Kyrene because he beat him last year. So I figured even though Irene uh all Americans,
Uh,
the
who's
head
to
to
say
head.
McGonagall wouldn't have All-American had he actually been able to compete?
So then we have Lucas Bird, Illinois, two-time fifth place, got to the round of 12. He's always a hard-nosed wrestler, really tough.
Yeah, and I was surprised that he didn't actually make the podium last year.
Yeah, round of 12, it's like you're literally one match away, so it's like it's tough.
Yeah, wow.
Also, like,
Actually, Andy lost in the tiebreakers against Jesse Mendez. So
which we didn't talk about Mendez, but Mendez was a returning All-American who bumped up to 141 this year. So it did open up a little bit in terms of
well, yeah,
last
him
year's.
gone, and then you got RBY gone, and then you got McGee gone. Like a
Yeah.
lot.
So
Yeah.
also funny, Mickey Philippi is finally gone from Pitt. This guy, I feel for him. 4-time blood round. Every
Yeah.
year he made the blood round, never All-American.
Yeah, that's rough.
That is rough.
Yeah, he was always ranked top 10 too.
I mean, you take blood round every single year. You're a top 10 guy, but you could
Yeah.
never win that match.
You hate to see it.
That
You
is
hate to see
brutal.
it.
So then we have Kyle Biscaglia. I don't know what's going on. None of the ranking services have him ranked, so I don't know if he's actually planning on wrestling this year or what. But based on his round of 12 last year, I think he
Yeah.
has a year of eligibility left. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if not, then we'd just have to pull him out and pull one of these honorable mentions up.
Yeah. Michael Kolioko, Penn, round of 16 guy. Chris Cannon, he's an interesting one. Transfers to Michigan, two-time All-American, had a tough tournament last year. We talked about this with DiAugustino. He's transferring from Northwestern to Michigan this year. Do we think that he's going to see an elevated performance by joining Michigan this year?
I think so. I mean, Cannon's also coming up from 25, right? Or no,
No,
he's not.
No, I think he was 33 last year too.
No, yeah, yeah.
Him
Okay.
and DiAugustino were on Northwestern together.
Right. Okay. Um, no, yeah, I think he's gonna kind of return to form and find his way back to the podium.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michigan's got a really solid room. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him kind of make that jump, especially when like he was kind of pursuing Penn State. Penn State was kind of pursuing him. I don't know if you guys remember like all that transfer portal craziness where they were like, "Wow, Penn State's gonna have Aaron Nagao and Chris Cannon."
What do they need both of them for?
Well, that was like people were like, "Oh, why are they both going to commit there?" And then Chris Cannon obviously went to Michigan. But if someone's considering Penn State and Penn State's also considering that person, chances are they're like, "Hey, you're more than a national qualifier, right?"
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they definitely have high stock in him. So, like, I have a feeling once competition starts, Cannon's probably going to be making some strides in these rankings.
Yeah. And then rounding out the top 12, Braden Palmer of Chattanooga, round of 16 guy last year. So
SoCon guy. Whoa.
love to see it. Love to see it. So Garrett Grice is a guy who could be interesting. He'll be a freshman for Iowa State. He transferred from UNC, I think. Virginia, sorry. Garrett Grice is a freshman for Iowa State. He transferred from Virginia. And the rankings have him kind of 18, 17, 11. We have him a little bit, well, we have him kind of in the same range. Honorable mention. Top recruit going to Iowa State, which is always, really good room. So he could be potential. And then Dom Zacone, two-time national qualifier from Campbell, Chance Rich, and Brody Teske. So Brody Teske, Iowa. I mean, Iowa's got to have a win right here if they want to be somewhat relevant in the team race. Do we think that he's going to do better? I mean, you can't do much worse than what he did last year.
Yeah, Teskey, I have no expectations for Teskey. He went 1-2 last year, I think, and I don't expect him to really improve upon that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see Garrett Grice versus Brody Teskey in the Iowa versus Iowa State duel.
Ooh, yeah, that'll be good. I could see Grice getting the win there.
Yeah, I mean that could be a huge swing for Iowa State. Where Brody Teskey on paper seems like the better guy, having been a national qualifier before. That's won matches at nationals.
Yeah.
I think that'll be an interesting one.
So we did a poll on Cactus Wrestling YouTube channel. We had 104 votes, and 83% of the voters chose Vito Arujau as your champion for next year. Not really much of a shock.
It's a no-brainer.
8% chose Dayton Fix. 8% also chose Aaron Nagao. And then Sam Latona and Nick Bouzakis, 1% each. So someone believes in in each one of those. Scrolling through the comments, I mean, one guy said he has to vote for Dayton because of the Okie State bias, but it's 100% Vito's to lose. And one guy said he's only voting for Nagao, assuming that Vito takes the red shirt. So,
oh yeah, I don't know that Nagao would necessarily beat Fix though if Fix is there.
I mean Dayton kind of took a step back last season, second, fourth. Maybe this is the year he takes sixth.
Yeah, be like Jaden Ironman. 5-4-3-2 does not place via injury.
I just can't wait for Bernie Truax to take fourth, and fourth again.
Bernie's winning it all. You heard it here.
Well, we'll get to that once we get to 184. But those are your 133 preseason rankings. Take a look. Drop a comment down below. Where do you think we got it right? Where do you think we got it wrong? Make sure you hit that like button. And before we end right here, I mean, who do you guys think? I mean, is it Vito's? Like, if he competes, Vito's gonna win, right?
If Vito's there, it's Vito.
If it goes, Vito wins.
What if Vito redshirts? Does Dayton win?
Aaron Nagao.
Whoa, you don't have Dayton winning if Vito's out?
I don't. I feel like Fix kind of mixed. If Vito's out, I feel like Dayton Fix kind of missed his time to be like, the stud. He has regressed in freestyle, not even making the team.
That's true.
Before he didn't, when he was on the team, he regressed as far as his placements. He's losing the guys that he's beaten for years. Everyone is now not only catching him, but they're surpassing him. I feel like, being a guy that's going to be 26 at NCAAs does not do you any advantages.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that if Nagao,
especially Bouzakis is like 19.
Yeah, 19, 20. Like these guys are young.
So all right. So if Dayton and Vito are out, who's winning?
Bouzakis.
Ooh.
I got Nagao beating Bouzakis in the finals.
I'm going Bouzakis. I'm high on that guy. I'd love to see Ohio State get back to relevancy in the team race.
Not Oklahoma State get back to relevancy via Dayton Fix.
Yeah, but he's 26 years old. Like, how many chances are you going to give him?
Well, and John Smith.
Tell you, man, take another red shirt. Dayton, stay in college till you're 30. Do the Tommy Boy rap.
You can do this.
Oh man. All right. There you guys have it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out, and thanks for watching.